Gaming, Web3, those two words together, clearly moving forward very fast in a strong direction, and we're going to hear more about all of that and the things that will change certainly within the gaming industry.
A lot of people in the audience today, thank you so much for joining us in this panel, and since we're a bit late, we're going to try to be as time efficient as possible. Let's go a bit through the key metrics of NFT gaming before we start. First of all, during 2022, 21% of Web3 investments were in gaming, approximately 8 billion. 5.7% of all dApps are games, while 52% of all unique active wallets on Ethereum are connected to games. So there is a huge possibility of increase and development in this field.
Metaverse and casual gaming are not the same thing. In my point of view, I'm old. First of all, I'm old. What you call Metaverse, I call Counter-Strike, I call World of Warcraft, I call, I don't know, all the games that have an open world where people can join and have fun together. So from that perspective, that is a metaverse. Now, it's a spin that the crypto industry added to add more hype. I'm all against hype. I'm just so you guys know.
Any other thoughts, Arvin?
Yeah, I guess I go next. So, I mean, just to go off what the other panelists was saying also. So, what's really, I guess, distinct about metaverse is that, you know, it's a new spin to it. So, right, you know, there's a conversation about the hype, and you know, with the VR. So a lot of people don't even know the difference between, let's say, simulation and, let's say, VR, AR, and metaverse. And so, what really excites a lot of people in the metaverse is actually what they're thinking, what they could do in like VR, for example. And so it's really important to get to the, you know, the actual reasons behind why we're so excited about the metaverse. But what's really special about the technology right now is, you know, the obviously the social aspect that was mentioned, but also the creation of the, I guess, the environment, which is a lot more, let's say, expansive than what we used to inside the games.
Yeah, so it always depends to whom you are addressing the question. From my perspective, there is no difference, because in my understanding, the metaverse is basically any type of project that keeps the assets on the blockchain. So this is according to my understanding. Obviously, when Zuckerberg came and rebranded Facebook to Meta, then the things became a little bit more complex. But I've seen in the past several examples which were referred as metaverse apps. One of them, for example, being a 2D game that people play on the computer from X to infinity. This is called a metaverse. Doesn't fit so well with the Facebook vision about the metaverse. And a very cool example I've seen was a book author. So she created a book and she thought, okay, this might look very close in the future to the Lord of the Rings. And what I'm bringing new to create a metaverse, I'm tokenizing all the characters in the book. So the NFT token holders, the owners of the characters, will be able to decide the future of the story and also be part of the project on long run. Okay, so she created a metaverse which is on a physical book. Okay, it's not a 3D game, it's not a 2D game on the phone. It's a book. Only the assets are tradable on blockchain and hosted on blockchain and tradable on Web3-like platform.
You know what? I think I'm gonna ask the audience to give the answer here. So we are like 150, 200 people, also the fine gentleman in the back. I wanna ask you a favor. Who has played a casual game here in this room? Please raise your hands. Thank you. Now, who has played a metaverse game here in the room? Please raise your hands. Now, who owns a VR? There's your answer. So what's happening now? The technology is not there. The equipment is not there. Can, I don't know, people from Latin America or from Southeast Asia, from India, can they play metaverse games? The adoption is not there. So until that technology evolves and more people have more money to buy VR, then we can talk. This is my answer.
There are already platforms being built right now, similar to Steam, for example, which are solving already this problem for any game willing to be listed with them. And at the same time, the game creators, my advice is most of them to transform their apps, their games into wallets too. In such a way that, okay, they are becoming custodian, we are somewhere in the middle between Web2 and Web3, but basically from a user interaction perspective, they will give a pretty similar experience with the traditional games.
Yeah, I guess just to add on that. So obviously, it's important that people, you know, there's a lot of conversations about we want to have you know, blockchain games, and then the gamers thinking about, well, we don't care about really about the blockchain, we don't care about the NFT, we just want a fun game. And then there are founders out there that all they're talking about when, you know, they have the game is just about the NFT. Like, so you have the NFT, and then in the future you're going to be able to play this game that doesn't even exist yet. So there's a lot of problems with that.
Well, so I have a different approach, and your question is very good. So the Web3 gaming industry, I mean the projects out there are struggling. Let's talk about that. It's very hard to compete with other projects at the moment because the slice of the pizza is getting thinner and thinner by quarter. Basically, all of these Web3 projects, they're fighting themselves off for the same audience. Based on your analysis and metrics that you provided, you are absolutely correct. But let's say top 10 game projects in Web3, all of those wallets, they're connected with top 10 projects. So basically, the users are going and identifying the best project for them at that particular moment, or just they want to just try it out. I said it in the past, and I'll say it again, the next bull run will be provided not by us, but by the non-crypto users. So we're obsolete. We need to identify ways to grab the non-crypto audience. Therefore, we have to come up with a better idea in the game world, as well as you said, funnels and ways on how to make life easier for the non-crypto user. To give you an exact and straight answer, there are some technologies out there that create a wallet just with Google login. It's called Face, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, it's going to be a challenge for the developers to, let's say, make life easier for the non-crypto users. And as more as you onboard more non-crypto users, I strongly believe that they will be better than the crypto users because they will become more or less holders in your project.
I would say success is to just replicate the stuff that works in terms of user experience. Then it's the job of the developer, of the project, to make technology invisible to the user. The user is not there because they love blockchain. The user in games, for instance, on WAM is because they want to compete and earn something and flip somebody off at points. I do that with my wife. So people are there to have fun. People are don't care about the technology and the next wave of adoption. This is what we know. There are people that believe in their visions. We know for a fact that this will happen because these are technological cycles that happened before. I've been doing this for the past 15 years. And that is games. And I've seen it with Flash and HTML5 and mobile games and a lot of Facebook games. It's always the same thing when you get the aha moment. And there are the platforms that come to the user and say, okay, you can use this platform. It brings you these extra benefits. Oh yeah, you can also own the tokens that you see, or the cards that you see. They're called NFTs. You can own them, you can trade them. But the purpose of games is to have fun, to make technology invisible, and this is how we get to that 1 billion users that we all love to talk about.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for having the patience to wait for all of us, and everybody will take questions outside. Thank you so much.
There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Fantastic. I'm going to ask you to take off the stage that way.